Well, that was not a fun game to watch. Ranger Suarez going up against Dylan Cease. We were in for a fun pitching matchup, and right out of the gate, Dylan Cease ends up giving up a home run to Alec Boehm. That gave the Phillies an early lead, and that's all they needed. They scored 2 runs there in that first inning. That was it. And that what this was who was going to make more mistakes. And Dylan Cease made more mistakes than Ranger Suarez did. The Phillies capitalized on it. Breaking ball, middle of the plate, Bohm takes advantage of it. And then later in the game, Phillies drop 3 runs on Cease in the fifth. You have a walk, which helped to get the bases loaded, and then a 4-pitch walk. All 4 pitches balls, obviously. Couldn't find the breaking ball, couldn't command that in the strike zone. Then fastball up to Bryce. And I guess that's better than a grand slam in that situation, but that's still um, it's disappointing when you give a free pass and you give the Phillies a free run right there. And then after that, right, so I believe there was 2 outs in the inning at that point, could be wrong, but I believe that's what the situation was. He got a little tapper from Trey Turner, so did his job there. Actually, I think Trey Turner was up before Bryce. But anyway, he gets the grounder, and it's a tapper. Eggy tries to field it at the same time, stepping on third. Couldn't get the out there. Inning continues. So there's little things like that where, hey, maybe you could have gotten out the inning and it still would have been 2-0 in that spot before the Bryce Harper bases loaded walk, before Alec Boehm had an RBI single to right. By the way, fastball over the middle of the plate. Boehm takes advantage of it. And he stayed back on it and just went the other way with it. So, like, that's a good piece of hitting from him as well. I don't want to make it seem like Dylan Cease, like that was all Dylan Cease's fault. But I think Dylan Cease will tell you post game that he should have done a better job commanding his pitches, controlling the strike zone there, if that makes sense. It was not his best outing with the Padres. I think Ranger Suarez, on the other hand, was really using the umpire to his advantage, the outside of the strike zone. I mean, even all the way through the 8th inning, because he ends up going 8 innings here. 15 Padres batters were retired in a row at one point in this game. Really, like, in control of this game, up, down, breaking balls, fastballs. Like, he's not a high velocity guy, but he was hitting his spots. That's something that Joe Musgrove has had an issue with this year at times, right? So that's the difference between Ranger Suarez and someone like Joe Musgrove this year, where both guys, they don't blow you away with velocity this year, but one has been able to not leave a bunch of pitches in the middle of the zone. It took Ranger Suarez to leave that meatball to Eggy Rosario. It took them till what, the 8th inning, when the Padres got that 1 run, their only run of this game. So now they drop down to 14 and 16. They can't win this series, obviously. They've already lost the first 2 games, and it's a disappointing start to this homestand. We obviously saw yesterday where they get down early, can't come back from that, and they get down 5-0 through 5 innings today, through 4.5, really. Can't come back from that. What I will say, Eggy Rosario's home run, I saw this was a topic on social media today during this game after Eggy homered. I'm fine with him kinda admiring the home run. Like, you're in the big leagues. I don't know how many more times Eggy is gonna hit a home run in the big leagues. Like, this is his dream, and he's living his dream playing in the big leagues. I'm fine with that, but I think it's the taking the Polaroids, celebrating like that in the dugout, where that will rub fans the wrong way. You know, it was 5-0 before you took that swing, before Ranger Suarez made a mistake. It was 5-0. He still dominated the Padres. You allowed him to go 8 innings, under 500. You know, this is gonna be their, what, third straight loss, I believe, right? Because they lost last game against Colorado, lost these 2 games. Taking a Polaroid, it would be one thing if that was the game-tying home run or the go-ahead home run or you're blowing out the Phillies, but that's not the case. That home run avoided being shut out, and again, you were still dominated in this game, so there's plenty of Padres fans that are not going to like that. I don't think it's the biggest deal, but obviously it's not the best look, no doubt about that. Um, I think Manny was participating in that as well, so I think some fans might be like, "Hey, you need to set a better example there." But at the same time, I've never been in that position, where I'm hitting a home run in the big leagues. What am I gonna do when I get back to the dugout? I don't think would Jackson Merrill do the Polaroid picture there? I guess that's a valid question to ask because we know he's all about winning, right? He goes 4 for 4 against the Giants earlier this year, and he he's like, "Well, I mean, essentially, I don't really care. We didn't win the game. That's what matters the most." And so, would he have done that if he hit a home run and it was down 5-1? The home run was to avoid being shut out. What would he have done? So I guess that's where my thought goes. I would not have probably done the Polaroid picture, but really, I think we're talking about something that's irrelevant with this game. The Padres just offensively, they didn't show up today. Dylan Cease was not the Dylan Cease that he has been going into this outing, and Ranger Suarez continues to pitch really, really well. So far this year, he's probably the NL Cy Young Award winner. I mean, I guess there's Shota Imanaga with the Chicago Cubs. He's up there, but I mean, Suarez has a 1.32 ERA, goes 8 innings today. No walks. That's a part of it as well. Dylan Cease walked 3 guys. A couple of those in that, what was that, that fifth inning? A couple of those guys either scored, maybe Harper scored. I forget if Harper scored, but either scored or brought in a run, so that can't happen, obviously. 8 punch outs for Suarez, 5 punch outs for Dylan Cease. Cease, he still went 6 innings. I was kind of surprised they went with Morejon there for 3 innings of work, but it does set up the rest of the Padres high leverage relievers to be able to pitch tomorrow in the series finale to try to avoid getting swept, and then pitch in, if they want to pitch back to back days, pitch that first game against the Reds to try to get off to a good start in that Red series. But yeah, disappointing night.